Good evening, YouTube. And if it's not evening where you are, we are forever in a day. My name is Brian.
And I'm Tish.
And today we're talking about marriage. We always talk about marriage, but today specifically, we're talking about the one key to a successful, long-lasting marriage. There is one key. Babe, what's the key?
It's not one key. For me, it's going to be a two-part for me. It's not one key. Keeping God first, that's the biggest one. But outside of keeping God first.
It's an automatic key. You have to mention that key.
Outside of that, it's going to be choosing to stay married. Here you go with something crazy.
I wasn't going to say nothing at all. I was waiting for my lovely wife to finish.
Yo, go ahead. What's your take on it?
Do I go elaborate?
I feel like once you make the choice.
What?
Like, it starts with making the choice to stay married, because so many people go into it with the option of leaving the marriage. So, in order for your marriage to be successful, there has to be the choice to stay in the marriage, to work through it when things are not pretty, to stay through it when things get rough, to stay through it when you looking at this person, you like, I can't stand this person. So, just making the choice continuously to stay married. To do the work.
It's good soliloquy that you gave.
Okay.
I like that. So, for me, the one successful thing you can do to have a long-lasting marriage is develop great communication skills. Communication is the basis of any relationship, not just the relationship that you share with your spouse. But with your spouse, it's vital. If you're not communicating daily effectively, not just hello, how are you? I'm good. All right, see you later. That's not effective communication. Talking about bills constantly, talking about children constantly, talking about problems constantly. Those do not equal effective communication. Communication comes from you and your partner coming on one accord, making sure that you at least line up on most things that you both, have decisions on, as far as, what you want to do, jobs, kids, love life, marriage, dreaming together, just making sure that you stay on the same page with the person that you have chosen.
It's chosen, but you said choose. The person get choose.
You repeated choose, so you supported my choose.
Right, I support.
Stop making fun of me.
I was a joke.
Communication, right? Yes. So
don't make too many jokes.
No, you can. That's between you and your partner. If you make a lot of jokes and your significant other is more serious or doesn't know your humor or doesn't know how to take those jokes, you will have to cut back on those jokes.
He's talking about himself.
But that will only come if your partner expresses that to you through effective communication. Do not just assume that your partner knows everything about you. Do not just assume that it's always going to work out with, okay, I have these expectations in my head. They should already know, because everybody wants these expectations. Communicate with that person. And of course, we have a Bible verse to go along with it. Don't we, babe?
Yes, we do.
What's the Bible verse?
Ephesians 5:25-33.
Read it for the people.
You normally read it. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her to make her holy, cleansing her by the washing with water through the word, and to present her to himself as a radiant church, without stain or wrinkle or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. Take a breath. In the same way, husbands ought to
I
love
didn't see that part.
their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body, just as Christ does the church, for we are members of his body. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This is a profound mystery, but I am talking about Christ and the church. However, each one of you also must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband.
What a line to leave it off on. So, what stood out for you as far as that Bible verse?
Verse 33.
Which is,
However, each one of you must also love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband.
and why did that stand out so much for you?
I guess it goes along with the question that I had. Like, can you actually have a successful marriage if you don't love or respect yourself?
Which is a very fair question. And it is a question that not a lot of people ask before they actually get into a relationship. If you're not taking a really deep, long dive into who you are as a person and looking at yourself and be like, do I really love myself? How can you give that love to somebody else?
Yeah, I personally don't think it's possible to have a successful marriage if you don't love yourself.
You said you don't think it's possible.
No. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't give that love to somebody else. If you don't respect yourself, you can't give that to somebody else. So I don't think that that's something that's possible. You can have a marriage, just won't be something that's either lasting or successful.
Why is self-respect so important in a marriage where you're taking care of the other person? Self-love, self-respect.
Because you have to know how to give it to somebody else. If you can't give it to yourself first, like if you're down on yourself, you're going to do that to your significant other. Whether you husband or wife, you're going to do that to the other person. If you want to talk bad, if you're going to talk bad about yourself, oh, I'm so ugly, or I need to lose weight, or I'm stupid. Like if you saying stuff like that to yourself, you're going to view your partner in the same way. Like you're going to project in a sense.
No, that definitely makes sense.
I just don't think that that's something, which is why you need to do the work before you get married. You can do the work in marriage, but if you know that you're struggling with insecurities or you're struggling with certain things, like your self-talk is important. Because your subconscious picks up on that. So, and then since it's a slap in the face to God too, because you're saying God messed up and he don't mess up.
True. Yeah. And like you said, you'll bring all that extra baggage into your marriage. You have to keep in mind that a marriage is a combining of two separate people that have lived two completely separate lives up until the point where they met each other. So if your separate life before then has been filled of self-doubt, self-loathing, self-hate, when you combine that with somebody else, all you're bringing is that self-negativity to the relationship. So that's going to rub off on that other person, and you're not going to be able to have effective communication with the other person because you never had effective communication with yourself. 2, how can you choose that other person constantly, again and again and again. When times get hard and rough, you didn't even choose yourself. You didn't even choose to love and care about yourself. So definitely make sure that that's one of the things that you keep in mind.
So can you be in a successful marriage without choosing to stay married?
No. What?
Or can you be in a successful marriage without choosing to stay married?
No.
Or without the good communication aspect?
No. No.
So what if you have great communication, but you don't make the choice to stay married?
You get divorced. So
what? No. So what? Because I'm saying, if we had excellent communication, but in the beginning, divorce was still on the table.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you leave divorce on the table, it doesn't matter how good your communication is, because that one time when your good communication decides to falter because you have not taken divorce off the table. Hey, I thought we were communicating great and everything was going good up until this point, but we hit this snag in the road. I'm out. So it's a double-edged sword. You cannot, it doesn't matter how
either end then.
Correct. It does not matter how good your communication is. If divorce is still on the table, like our pastor says, then you have nothing else to talk about. Until you take divorce off the table, that's when your marriage is actually going to truly begin. Now, like you said, on the opposite end, is it possible to have a successful marriage if you've taken divorce off the table?
You choose to stay married, but your communication
is just horrible.
I think either way it could be rectified.
That's not my question.
You didn't ask the question.
Did I not ask the question? I'm pretty sure I asked her a rebuttal question. Correct?
If the communication is not there, I still think that the marriage has potential to be successful.
But is it a marriage if you're not communicating with each other?
No, it's just cohabitating, coexisting with each other.
Which is never ideal and is never fun to be in.
So we've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there. 1,000% we've been there. With the communication and with the not.
I mean, with both.
With both, way. Yeah.
That's why we're able to get this.
But then at the same time, I think to shine a bigger light on it, we were in both places at the same time. Not choosing, divorce was not off the table, and then our communication was trash.
Which kind of goes hand in hand, honestly.
So we were not the people that are sitting right here in this moment. So it's salvageable. It is for sure. It's just a lot of work, which means it goes back to the first point. Choose to stay married. You have to choose your significant other daily, not just daily. On the day you get married. Your anniversary doesn't mark that spot. You have to choose that person daily.
Your spouse will annoy you. Your spouse will do things that you don't like. Your spouse will do things that you don't agree with.
Oh, yes.
But like we said, it's a twofold thing. If you don't choose to stay with them, then you'll just leave. If you don't choose to communicate what you don't like or what you don't agree with or what you will not stand for, then you're just going to leave. So really make sure that the person that you have, the person that you believe God has chosen for you, is actually the person that you have chosen as well. Because God can have the right person for you and you cannot be ready for that person, and that person will keep on going, and you will just miss out on them. But that comes back to that self-love, that self-care. Because if you're good with yourself, when you meet that person, y'all are going to click and y'all be good together. So
even through the bumps in the road, because regardless,
correct.
whether you're good with yourself or not, there's going to be bumps in the road.
Correct.
Every marriage is going to have a bump. So this is not saying that either one of our points is the key to a perfect marriage, because there's no perfect marriage.
No.
If that's the case, somebody not communicating effectively.
Perfect marriage was Jesus in the church. And we can try to live up to that, but we will never be able to achieve that because Jesus was a perfect man. So to sum it all up, is there really a one successful key?
No, it's not. There are many other keys. We got the intimacy, which we talked about in another video. Go back and watch that video. We talked about different types of intimacy. We have what other things? Date night.
There's plenty of other things you can do to.
I just want to go down the list.
No, enhance your marriage and make sure that you and your spouse are good.
Traveling together.
We made this video specifically because these are the two things that we have found have been most successful to a great marriage. And we've spoken to other couples and, they have told us, specifically these things are, what has been, okay, do this. Make sure this is good. Make sure you keep this up. Like these two things, choosing to stay with your spouse, good communication with your spouse. Those are the things that are going to get you through, I say, 95% of your bad times? Like, if you can manage to just get those two things, everything else you can just put into place. Everything else, God will put on your heart to be like, okay, well, hey, your spouse didn't like that. Maybe you should change this. But if you haven't made that choice to stay with the person that God has gifted to you, then you'll never receive that calling on your life to be like, okay, well, let me do something else to make sure that my spouse is comfortable in all situations, in most situations that I can, influence. So.
Well, comment below. We like engagement. If you have any other keys that we may have missed, if you want to see us talk about anything else, comment below.
She responding. I ain't responding to y'all. I'm talking about I'm busy. But when she responds, sometimes.
I'm not busy.
Huh?
I'm not busy.
Oh, no. All right. She didn't say it. Communication. Ain't that right? You see how...
Nursing student. Stay-at-home mom.
I don't know if that has anything to do with what we were talking about. But...
I'm busy. I'm way busier than he is.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's your busy award.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. We really do hope you enjoy. We do this because we love it. We do this because it's fun. And we do this because this is truly something that God has put on both of our hearts. And we feel like we will be able to help a tremendous amount of people to see that marriage is a gift. Marriage is something that you cherish. Because if you don't, then marriage can very easily slip through your fingers. And that one person that God has chosen for you to spend the rest of your life with can walk right out your front door. Cherish it.
For the garage.
Make it sacred. And make sure that it's
back doors, windows.
The second most important thing in your life.
Make a walk out anywhere. But I be be getting on his nerves saying stuff.
I didn't say that.
Look at his face.
Don't look at my face.
We appreciate you all watching. Next week we're gonna have a real special video next week. It won't be in this spot. Well, when we post it, it'll be a special video.
Yes.
We have something special coming up for you all.
I don't know, special event. I don't know. Hey, it's gonna be fun for us. I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna have a great time. So definitely comment, like the video, share the video, tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your dog, tell the squirrels outside, tell your neighbor across the street that you don't like.
Or the ones you do like.
I don't care what ones you do like. You already told them. Tell the ones you don't like. I want their engagement.
Yeah, okay.
And be sure to come back for our next video, which is going to be incredible. We love you guys. We appreciate you for tuning in and can't wait to see what we got in store for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love you guys. See you later.